Welcome to Calvin, the Digital Creative School. Hey yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? We're going to do a little. Actually, today is New Tool Tuesday, so I'm gonna learn a new tool today. And since Marvelous Designer is part of the Chasms call, kind of like tool set. Like if we go here, let me quickly show you. If we, oh no, my desktop. Oh damn. Hello, Live and Rancher already here. What's up, guys? So I quickly need to. Oh yeah, my desktop is back now. Okay, here we go. All right. So yeah, if we go to the Chasms Call website, I'm gonna put it in the chat here again, so you can check it out. Chasms Call is, for anyone who doesn't know it, it's a very cool community challenge run by Clint, Clinton Jones. Yeah, and as part of this challenge, you actually got a lot of very cool partners to give kind of like the people who participate in it tools, right? So down here we can see we've got the elemental suit from Jenga Effects, which I already know pretty well. Then we got Marvelous Designer, which is very interesting to me. I've never used it, so that's what we are gonna figure out today together. And then there's a few other things here, mostly assets, I would say, like a render farm coupon. And the rest is assets, pretty much. All right, so because I've never used Marvelous Designer, I just opened it up 10 minutes ago for the first time. And I'm watching this like beginner tutorial from Production Crate. So I'm gonna share this also with you guys. If you wanna learn Marvelous Designer, you can check out this tutorial. It's really good. I mean, it seems to be pretty good. I followed the first 2 minutes and I already feel like I learned a lot. So yeah, let's just continue. Okay, so what I learned. You can draw kind of like your cloth shapes in the right viewport. Then on the left, you see it in a 3D view. And then with space, you can make it simulate. And then you can just drag and drop it wherever you want to. So yeah, that's it's pretty fun. It doesn't look so good right now. And I also don't know how to reset my simulation yet. Yeah, where would we do that? Okay, you know what? Let's actually follow the tutorial together further, because yeah, I don't know much about this yet.
Okay. Now let me show you how a couple of the other important tools work. The button right next to the one we used, right here, is how we create internal shapes inside of an existing shape. So if I click on this, I can create, let's say, an internal ellipse. So I can drag a little circle inside of this shape, and it created a little circle or an ellipse inside of my fabric pattern. Now I'm going to click on my edit pattern. The hotkey for it is Z, and I can right click on this yellow circle and I can say convert to whole, and it will cut it out.
Okay, I want to try that. Wrench. Okay, Wrench, see you in 10 minutes. Okay, so I want to do the same thing, just see if it works for me. Just gonna rotate it too. Can I type in a number? No. Oops. What the hell? Ooh. Couldn't get the rotation to reset. 1 sec. Right. Let's put it on top. Oh, it depends on like where you click, then your origin point is there. Okay, that's pretty cool. It's actually pretty interesting. Okay, so yeah, let's draw a hole like he did. Internal ellipse. That's strange. My mouse wheel is inverted. Let me just see if I can change that. View controls. Guess this maybe? Forward. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's draw a little shape here. Can I also move this shape again? Yeah, nice. I can move it. Okay, I can also see where it is in the 3D space. Okay, so yeah, that's actually pretty cool. So now we see it probably needs to be, but it might just fit. Okay, yeah, let's use this. So I'm gonna select the thing again here. Whoops. Edit pattern, yes. Okay, just drag and drop. Just like, okay, and then convert to whole or something, right? Convert to whole. Okay, here we go. Let's see how it looks if I play this. Alright, very cool fit. Very, very chill outfit. Nice. Okay, cool. We got we got our first clothing piece. Very nice, very easy. Let's continue the tutorial.
And now we've got sort of a poncho. And if I press space to simulate, it falls around his neck. It's rotated around so the point is in the front. And we've actually made a pretty cool little poncho. Now, if the neck hole is too big, I can click on this transform pattern and click on the hole, and I can actually scale it right here. It's kind of like working in Illustrator or other vector programs if you've ever used one. And notice that it's updating in real time over in the 3D window. Now it does start to get kind of tangled up as you edit, but if you press spacebar, it will re-simulate and
Actually super sick that you can just change it while it's already on the person. That's pretty crazy. Crazy stuff. The way to scale this. Transform. Transform. Oh yeah, here we go. Ah, interesting. Okay.
reshuffle and make it look natural. Okay, so that's how we create shapes, but how do we stitch things together? So I'm going to delete this, and let's create a fresh new square, and I'm going to hit Control-C for copy and Control-V for paste. And now I've got two squares. If I press play to simulate, they both just kind of fall. Let's undo that, and let's actually quickly position it so it lands on top of him. Maybe it'll stay in the air longer. And let's say I want to sew these two edges together. The tool for that is right here on the top bar, and the most basic way to sew is called segment sewing. The hotkey is N. The way this works is I click on the edge that I want to start the sewing, and then I click where I wanted to sew to, and you'll notice there are these colored lines showing which edges were sewn together. And if I press play, they zip together and become one piece. Now, there's a couple things you need to take note of, be very careful about. If I undo, you may have noticed when you roll over the edge when you're sewing that there's this little notch, and that's to indicate the direction of the sewing. So if I click here, notice the notch was on the left, and then if I click on this edge over here so that the notch is on the right, what we've done is we've sewn this corner to the opposite corner, and we're going to get it twisted up when we press play to simulate. So pay close attention to the way the lines are going and which side the notches are on. So you can actually sew in 3D space as well. You don't have to sew in the 2D window if you don't want to, and sometimes it is more visually clear what's going on if you do it over here. So I can actually click on this edge here in 3D space, and then click on that one, and it's very clear which edges I've sewn together, and that they've sewn together.
Nice. I mean, maybe to like tell you guys my end goal with this, I basically want to create my astronaut suit in this program to like make it look a bit leathery. Let me show you my references here. Chasm. What? Chasm. Black hole? What's my notes for this? Ah, here we go. Yeah, here we go. So basically, I want to create a spacesuit similar to this style here. Yeah, less like this, but yeah, definitely like in this direction here. That's the goal. That's what I want to achieve today in 1 hour. Okay, so let's try out this sewing thing. A, okay, I gotta remember the shortcuts. Okay, A is for transform. What's this? H H for polygon. Okay, so I can just draw polygon shapes here. Nice. And then if I want the other piece to be in the back, let's just try that. Oh yeah, wait, actually. I want that to be a hole, right? So maybe let's try this. Can we turn this into a hole now? Pattern, this should be a hole. Oh wait, I don't think I drew it with the whole system. Yeah, I think this internal poly. Okay, what's the shortcut for that? G and H. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, we can turn this into a hole, I think. Cut. I think I need to connect it. G for hole. Okay, so bam, bam, and then maybe connect it so it's full. Yeah. And turn this into a hole. Z with Z. Convert to hole. And so points are no longer close together. Okay, I mean, I guess instead of cutting it out, I can also just edit this, right? Edit curve points. Yes, so I want to add a new one here, new one here, new one here, and then I'm gonna move this one down. Oops. Okay. Getting used to new program is always a big task. The hell? This mode. Edit curve points. So here we go. I need a new one here. Then set it here, but I don't want these to be curved. So I guess I gotta this. Oof. Yeah, basically don't want these to be so smooth. I just want these to be like angular. Okay, I guess something I could do instead is just to redo it from the start. So I'll just draw it exactly how I need it immediately. Something like this, yeah. Hey Wrench, welcome back. And then I'm gonna copy paste this down here. And then I'm gonna place these behind each other because I want them to like be sewn around him. Let's see, so like that. And then the background, oops. This one here, Z, right? Yeah. This one, I want to have less of that. Then I'm gonna sew these together with, where was that? Sewing, here we go, sewing. Right? Segment sewing, here we go. So this and this, and this and this. Yeah, let's just start with that. Let's see. Okay. Oh, I think this one is inverted. Is that why it looks like that? Oh, yeah, yeah. It actually looks kind of cool. Like it's white in the front and then black in the back. Okay. How do I actually... Oh, I undo the simulation too. Okay, the simulation is part of the undo process. Okay, I'm starting to really like Marvelous design. That's so smooth and it seems to make a lot of sense. Okay, so these parts are being sewed together. Let's actually continue the tutorial for a bit.
They're in the right direction. Now, what do you do if you have two pieces that are different sizes and you want to sew them together? Well, you can actually sew them together with segment sewing if you want to. And what's going to happen is this entire edge is going to be sewn to this shorter edge and it will bunch up, kind of like poofy Renaissance sleeves. So now you can see that it's bunched up. So that's how you create this sort of, I guess, pleated look maybe, those poofy sleeves. But let's say I don't want that to happen. Let's say I want to sew this entire edge to just a section of this longer edge. Well, instead of using segment sewing, I'm going to use free sewing. And the way this works is you click on the vert or wherever you want it to start, and then you drag it as long as you want it to go. It's up to you. And then over here on this edge, I'll click where I want to start. And you'll notice a little dot appears that shows you exactly how long the other edge is. So I can click that. And now this edge is sewn to just a section that's the same length of this longer edge, like that. Now you don't have to do that. You can sew a smaller section if you want to, like let's say right here in the middle, and then we'll get that same bunched up effect like this. So it's all totally up to you what you want to do. So I think we actually know enough to make a basic t-shirt. Let me show you how that's done. And I'll highlight new tools as we...
Wait, let me actually try that, because I feel like this program seems to be very intuitive. It already makes a lot of sense to me. So let me just see if I can actually pull off making a t-shirt. Right, so we need these two parts here. First off, I do need to rotate the back piece around because it's not, oops, it's not rotated correctly. So how do I rotate it? Yes, I want to rotate this 180 degrees, like that. Okay, and then I also need to invert sewing, but I'm gonna actually do that later because I'm not super sure yet. I should, like, how it's gonna be in the end. Can I just remove this? Yeah, okay, nice. Okay, remove the sewing. Okay, so we need openings for the arms, right? So let's try Z for edit, pattern editing. Okay. Let's make this a little smaller, like this. Right. And the cool thing, what I saw, is that you also don't have to do it all correct in the beginning and then simulate. You can still add all kinds of things while it's simulating. So that's also very cool. I think with N it's connecting. Yeah, so let me connect these shoulders together. Okay, nice. And then I want, yeah, I need sleeves. I need sleeves. So I guess I'll just have like a long tube of cloth. Oops. Something like this. I'm not sure yet. Long tube. Can I roll this tube up? It's probably easier to just have two pieces and then just have them connect to each other. Oops. Oh shit. Let's try that. Okay, so this is a very, very relaxed shirt. Okay, I'm just gonna try one arm first. Okay, so I'm gonna need to this down. Actually, let me just move both at the same time. That's probably possible, right? Nice. Okay. Oh, I think these are way too big. We actually make them smaller. Yeah, more like that probably. I'm gonna move this one to the other side. Oh, can I transform locally? Hmm. Maybe I can just reset the rotation for now. No. Okay, but I think it's easier if I just like kind of like line it up like this and then do a full rotation and then rotate it again. Yeah. Then I'm gonna put it on the other side of the arm. There. Okay. Okay, let me simulate the top. Okay. Okay, all of this is very interesting. Let's see if we can connect these two to create a tube. Nice. And then these two. Then I also need to connect these two with the free sewing. Free sewing, yes. This piece. Wait, what? Oh, I think that was a mistake. Okay, I need to connect this whole edge here to this. Wait, did that work? Okay, now how exactly did it do it? Let me check that out again.
You click on the vert or wherever you want it to start, and then you drag it as long as you want it to go. It's up to you. And then over here on this edge, I'll click where I want to.
Oh, I guess it's just dragging, not clicking, dragging. Okay, so drag. And then... What? Okay, wait. Free sewing. This is the thing that they used, right? So just click and drag. What the hell? I don't get it.
Start, and you'll notice a little dot appears that shows you exactly how long the edge I'll start. I'm going to use free sewing. And the way this works is you click on the vert or wherever you want it to start, and then you drag it as long as you want it to go. It's up to you. And then over here on this edge, I'll click where I want to start, and you'll notice a little dot appears that shows you exactly how long the other edge is. So I can click that, and now this.
Okay, let me try in the 2D viewport maybe. So I want to connect this whole edge to this. Okay, now it worked. Maybe it doesn't properly work in the 3D viewport. That, but inverted. Can I still invert the sewing? Didn't I do that before? Did sewing? Reverse. Ah, there we go. Okay. But it's pretty cool to see like most of the things in this program actually make a lot of sense. They just feel logical. Okay, so we got that, and now we gotta do the same thing for this. Okay, gotta invert it again. Let's ring B and M. Reverse. Okay. Oh shit, it's over there. Oh no. Oh no, I need it to be N. I need... Oops, what the fuck? I need this piece to be size. What's happening? What is this? This is connected? I don't want this to be connected. I need to move this part. What the hell is this? Ooh. Okay, wait, so if I play it now, what happens? Okay. H to edit. No, H wasn't to edit. Just the edit point. Edit string with B. Bavson CG official, what's up? What are you up to? Okay, I guess I'll just do it from scratch again. Okay, so enforce manual sewing, right? Was it N? Oh, I always forget the... No, free sewing. Okay, so bam, bam, from there to there. And then from here to here. But it's inverted. Okay, so I gotta invert this now. Sewing. Oops. Okay, let's see. Oh, almost. Almost worked. Okay, so we gotta make sure that that this thing wraps around the arm, I think. Okay. Oh, yeah, almost. Okay. we got it working somehow. Okay. Yeah, I guess let's just try to replicate that for the other side. And then, oh, actually, if we simulate, we are able to like move it so it fits better, right? Oh, I think this is actually too tight. Yeah, it's so tight, it's hard to move. Okay, let's actually make this a bit wider. I should make these two here a bit wider. Edit pattern, yes. And then just transform them up to make them wider, I guess.
Yeah.
Like this. Okay, it's kind of cool. Let's actually sew these things together too on the bottom. I think that's what we... Actually, no, I'm gonna do the other arm first and then do the bottoms. So, transform. Maybe we should make it a bit shorter. This. I think the length was cool. Alright, let me copy this to the other side. Then we need to move these in the right position, I guess. Now we gotta sew them together again. I wish I could do it in 3D, like this free hand sewing. Let me try that actually again. Free sewing. So I want to sew this. I don't know what's happening. It doesn't let me do that. Okay, so I guess let's just do it in the 2D view here again. Get that, and that should connect to that one, to this side. A bit shorter, so maybe this. Outside. This connects, I think, to this. Yeah. It's a bit shorter, like this. I think we need to invert the so here. Okay, okay, we got something. Okay, okay, cool. Cool, let's connect the bottom of the shirt now, under the arms. Some free sewing. Oh, actually, we can use the segment sewing now, I think. Oh no, but it doesn't take into account what we already saw, I think. So maybe? Do this. Oh no, it takes the whole edge. Let's do free sewing then. From here to here. We connect it from here. Oh, but the other way around. Yeah, or maybe just like invert it again. Oh, it's the other way around. Shit. Okay. Actually, remove this one then. So from here. Wait, what? Free oh, M is free sewing. Okay. To here, and then the bottom to the top. Here to here. That should be right. Yeah, that looks right. Yeah, that looks right. Okay, cool. Alright, we get that. Got an M, so the other side, bottom to top, and then bottom to top. Yeah. Flipping a little bit. It's clipping through the character here. Other side is fine. Okay, yeah, let's see if we can fix the clipping on the right arm. Nice. Yeah, it's not bad. But let's actually try to edit this while working on it. I want to make it a bit longer because it feels a little short right now. Edit pattern, yes, to make these two parts longer. So let's just extend them down, I guess. Alright, it figures itself out. Very cool. Nice, okay. Thinking also to maybe just completely remove this part here. Maybe not, I think it was kind of cool. Oh, no, actually it doesn't really do anything, so let's just, yeah, let's get rid of it. Okay. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, let's continue the tutorial. I think I got like a very basic t-shirt going here.
This edge is sewn to just a section that's the same length of this longer edge, like that. Now you don't have to do that. You can sew a smaller section if you want to, like let's say right here, what you want to do as we go is to find references of patterns. If you've never created clothing from scratch before, or costume from scratch before, then the patterns for even basic clothing probably don't look the way you expect, like a pair of jeans or a t-shirt. So make sure you look at reference. Okay, we're gonna make a basic t-shirt first. The way that we were creating our shapes before was with this rectangle tool, but I'm gonna use the polygon tool so we can draw a custom shape. So I'll start right here in the center. One thing you wanna do is give it a lot of extra room. So if I'm gonna trace kind of the outline of his torso here, give it some extra room because you have to account for the depth of the shoulder in 3D space as well. So I'm gonna click here and I'm gonna go outward from his silhouette and I'll kind of draw a little tank top first. So I'll click here in the armpit for the end of the sleeve opening and then we'll go do the hem of the shirt and then I'm gonna close off the shape like this. Now here's what's really cool. I'm gonna click on transform pattern and select it. And if you hit Control D, it'll duplicate and mirror it and it'll keep them linked. So the symmetry will automatically be activated, which is really cool. So if I grab, say, this point here, this vertex, I can move it and you can see it moves symmetrically on the other side as well. Okay, so I'm actually gonna just kind of straighten that out. We'll make it a little more fitted later. So I actually want the neckline to be more curved and then the same thing with the armpit. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna search for edit curvature. The hotkey is C and I can click and drag this line and sort of bend it into a curve like that. And let's do the same thing for this armpit line. And then I can switch back.
I want to try that for my design actually. Let's see. Yes. Enough time, small. Alright, can I actually do both at the same time? Let's see if I... No, I guess I should have linked it like he did. Okay. I mean, I like it when it's a bit angular, so let's keep it a little bit like that, like this. I mean, it's barely visible in the shirt anyway, so okay. You know what? Let's just keep it like that. Oh, maybe. Oh, that could be cool. Like if the ends of the t-shirt were like this. Yeah, that's pretty cool. This tool is super fun, honestly. Oops, wrong side. Crazy things. Okay, got some curvature going. It's nice.
Back to my edit pattern tool, the hotkey is Z, and maybe I can adjust this a little bit so it looks a little bit more like my reference. Notice that now that we've curved this line, we have these little Bezier handles like Illustrator. So if you're...
Wait, I don't see the Bezier handles. Where are the Bezier handles? I don't have those. There's curve points? I don't have those Beziers. I want those Beziers. Oh, here we go. Yeah, okay.
Familiar with how that works, how the pen tool works in Illustrator, this should be very familiar to you. Now let's duplicate these for the back panel. So I'll grab this one right here, and instead of hitting Control D to duplicate, I'm actually just gonna hit copy and paste. So Control C, Control V, and I'll put it over here to the side. And then this one, I'm gonna hit Control D to duplicate. So I did that so that these two stay linked, and then the two back panels will stay linked symmetrically. Let's kind of wrangle these together. It looks like in 3D space they got a little separated, so I'll just bring this back together. So just like in real life, how your t-shirt can be inside out, the same thing can happen here in 3D in Marvelous Designer. So we want to pay attention to what we're doing. When we move this to the back of the model, we don't want to just move it like this. We want to actually flip it so that it's facing inward, just like the t-shirt would be. And you can see that the inside actually has a different color, so it makes it really easy. And you want to position it pretty close to where it's going to be when it stitches together. So I'm looking again at my reference and I want to modify the back of the neckline a little bit to make it fit. Okay, and now we can actually start sewing. So I need to sew this part together here, and then the part under his armpit, and then of course the front I need to close it up, and the back in the middle I need to close that up too. So I'm going to grab my segment sewing tool, the hotkey is N, I've been using Marvelous Designer since before the 3D window became a thing, so I'm used to sewing in the 2D window, but remember that you can click in the 3D window to do the same thing I'm doing. So I sewed these 2 edges up here, and then I'll sew these 2 edges up here, and I'm just checking the 3D window to make sure it looks right, and it does. And notice that you don't have to worry about the other side because we have symmetry working, so it's automatically going to sew up the other side. Now here in the middle, I'm going to click and sew together the front, and then the same thing on the back. Remember that before it can stitch together, it's actually going to fall a little bit due to gravity. So I usually position it up a little bit higher than it needs to be so that it falls into place. Okay, looking pretty good. So it looks roughly like a little sleeveless t-shirt, but the fit is a little bit weird. I think the back of the neckline is a little bit too wide. And then we can also change the fit through the torso in a little bit here. First, let me fix this neckline. I'm going to use the edit pattern tool to bring these together. And this is kind of a crazy curve, so let's just sort of make that less extreme. Looking pretty good. Don't forget that you can move this around on his body if it's not quite straight. Looks like the front of his neckline is also a little bit extreme. There we go. So maybe I wanted to taper as it goes down to be more of a fitted t-shirt. Here's a trick that I do. So if I grab this point and move it inward, notice it does the same thing here, but it doesn't do the same thing on the back. And another thing to keep in mind is by moving this point, but not the bottom corner on this back pattern, we've actually changed the length of these edges. So now they don't quite match. They're pretty close, so it's not going to be too much of a problem. But if you're not paying attention and you're making a lot of adjustments, you can get to a point where this edge is a very different length from the edge it's sewn to, and then you get that bunched up look that we talked about earlier. So I try to be very conscious of how I'm changing the length of edges after they're sewn together. Here's a little trick I like to do to make sure the edges stay the same length. I'm going to click the bottom right corner of the front patterns, and I'm also going to click the bottom right corner of the back patterns. And I do that so that as I move this point here to the left to taper it, it's also moving this point to the left. And so you end up tapering both patterns at the same time, and these vertical edges remain the same length. Now, you don't need to taper it very much. That's one thing you'll learn as you mess around with this program is small adjustments go a long way. Okay, now we need some sleeves. So what I'm going to do is take a look at my pattern, and the sleeve pattern is a lot different from what you might expect. You might have expected that it's just a tube, but if you take a look at our reference pattern, it's basically a little 5-sided shape like a little house with a rounded roof. So I'm going to start by creating just a 5-sided shape like a Monopoly house, not really worrying too much about the length of things. You can always adjust it in a little bit here. And let's move this point over so it's more symmetrical. Okay, and then I want to create that swoopy shape. So I'm going to grab my edit curvature and just kind of bring this up like that. And then I'll press Z to edit the pattern, and I'll bring this Bezier handle down so we get this S curve, trying to mimic my reference. So we have the basic shape, but the proportions are not correct. So how do we know how long these edges should be? Well, they're going to sew to this opening here. So I'm just going to click on this edge, and I can see that this edge is 31.76 units long. This one is only 20.7 units long. So let's make this much longer. Maybe I'll bring this up. So I'm getting to about 31. Okay, so this edge is going to sew to this edge. This edge is going to sew to this edge. And then actually these two edges here are going to sew to each other. So I want to make sure that they are roughly the same length too. Now, you don't have to do the exact same numbers as me as long as your pattern matches itself. Okay, so I'm going to position this pattern here, rotate it. This is going to go kind of on his shoulder. Okay, and then I'll hit Control D to duplicate and bring it over here. Okay, so I'm going to use my segment sewing, and I'm going to sew from this edge here to here, and then this edge here goes to that one. Notice that it happens the same thing on the other side, so we don't have to worry about it. I'm going to move this a little bit closer to his body so that it falls around his arm before it sews closed. And let's press spacebar. Let it settle. Looking good. Okay, so now that it's draped around his arm, we can actually sew together this under edge. So I'll click here and sew it to there. I'll press play. It worked. Now it doesn't really look good because the t-shirt is fitted, but the sleeves are kind of baggy. So we can try to tighten these up a little bit. Maybe I'll narrow the sleeves down, shorten the sleeves. I think our problem is that the opening of the sleeves is a little bit big. See how low this opening is? It should be kind of more up in the armpit. So I'm going to bring these points up. But before I do that, remember what I said earlier. As I bring these up, it's actually shortening this edge that this sleeve is sewn to. And so here's a little trick. I'm going to grab this, and I'm actually going to rotate it this way so that when I move this point up, I can move this point up as well, and hopefully it stays roughly the same length. Let's also do it on the back, and I'll move this up. Now, unfortunately, we need to actually bring this one down, so we couldn't do it at the same time, but let's go ahead and do that now. And you can see the pattern sort of exploded, but if we press spacebar, it comes back together, and now it's fitted a little bit better to his body. We get this weird spike here in the collar, and that's because these points here are a little bit too high. So let's go ahead and bring those down. There we go. It's starting to look a lot better. And sometimes it's not that the pattern is wrong, sometimes it's just sitting on his body awkwardly. So don't forget that you can move this around with your mouse. So it looks like it's kind of just riding up on his neck a little bit. So I'll just pull this down, bring it up in the back. It's actually a pretty good looking t-shirt. It was just sitting on him weird. Okay, cool. So that's how we do a basic t-shirt. So now I'm going to make a pair of pants, and I want to hide.
Okay, this is pretty cool. I mean, he's doing kind of like adjustments as he's simulating, like he's simulating one part after the other and then adding more parts. And that's actually like really cool that you can do that. I'm not used to having such a program with such flexible simulation tools. Then there's much more rigid when it comes to simulation, I would say. Why is it not moving this one? It's strange. I do want to refine this shirt a little bit more here. Let's see. So I guess if I learned anything, it's that this should be curved, right? So let's try that. Maybe like this. Let's see. Let's see if that works. I think these should probably be more together. Right? Z. Oh, Z. Oh, you know what? I think I can just fix that by changing the sewing pattern. Let's try that. Sewing was with N, I think. Yeah. We can just edit it. Edit sewing with B. Yes, and I want this corner to be longer. So maybe even, probably not all the way to the back, but maybe like this. And now it's crunching it up more. Yeah, okay, I'm beginning to understand. Beginning to see the code behind the matrix. Cool. Actually, can we do a little like soft curvature here? Maybe if I add another point here. Can I add another point? Point X. Okay. So let's do this and that. C. Then I'm gonna this down here. Actually, I'll just select both of these and move them down. And then I'm gonna make this curved. How does it look like if we like curve this inward? Interesting shape. Oh, it's actually like polygons. You can actually see the polygons of the clothes. Yeah. Yeah, looks interesting. also thinking of, I think this could be cool, like if this was like a little baggy, like that. Yeah, I think actually the opposite would be cool, like if it's baggy in the front and then a little higher on the sides. Oh, oops. So these and these, and then move all of them up a little bit. What with us? Why doesn't this one move? Yeah, one of the corners is just not moving together. Maybe like that. Oops. Let's transform this here. Oops. This whole thing. Oopsie. I think it should be a bit like these corners here should be a bit shorter. Probably even shorter. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Right, but if we do something crazy like this, hanging down on one side, then we do the opposite direction up here. Oh, same direction, I guess. Actually, I want the opposite direction. I think that would be more interesting. Definitely interesting look. A little short here. Okay, that's fine. Bit like scrunchy, a little like too much fabric on the bottom here. Maybe we can fix that if we move these together a little bit. Oh. Can they like transform in both directions at the same time? Yeah, that's definitely, it's like these corners are so far apart. Let's just experiment a little bit here. Shapes are getting a bit crazy. Yeah, that's a bit tighter. Yeah. This part is a bit weird. Maybe we can fix that too if we make it a bit tighter down here. Yeah. Oh, now it's looking almost too sexy. Too tight. Wrench asks, how does it run on your PC? It runs pretty seamless. I would say it runs... yeah, everything seems to be in real time here. It's definitely a bit too tight. Let's make it a bit chiller again. A bit more relaxed. Yeah, I guess that's fine. I think the top is a little too tight. Yeah, it's a little tight up there. We can actually fix it with this. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, yeah, let's continue the tutorial. Let's see what else they show.
I made this t-shirt so that I can see what I'm doing with the waistline of the pants. It's very easy to do. Let's just select all of our patterns again. And then in the 3D view, I'm going to right click and I'm going to say deactivate pattern and sewing. And now it's going to stay there, but it's transparent and we can see what we're doing underneath. And it's also not going to simulate when we press spacebar and it won't interfere with our jeans. And now we're going to create a pair of pants. So let's start with the polygon tool again. Hotkey is H. And I'm going to click right about here, not the center line this time, but I'm going to click right about here and go out like this. And we'll make shorts first. It's much easier to create shorts and then stretch the leg later than it is to just draw a perfect pair of jeans. So I'll go down to about here and then we'll do the leg opening. And then kind of the inseam of the pants is drawn like this. So we need this little 5-sided shape, this little point coming inward to create the fabric that goes underneath. Let's go to edit curvature. Hotkey is C. And just like I did with the t-shirt, I'm going to bend this into that shape like that. Let me just move some points around really quick. Okay, perfect. Let's duplicate this just like we did with the t-shirt pattern. Control D, and it's going to flip it, and it's going to keep symmetry active. And then just like we did for the back of the t-shirt, let's grab this pattern on the right, and instead of duplicating, I'm going to copy and paste. So Control C for copy, Control V for paste. Now I've got the back side. I'm going to hit Control D for duplicate, and then I will flip them around so that they're facing the right way and move it behind him like that. Okay, so I'm going to grab this and just make it look a little bit more like the pattern reference that I have. These are going to look like boxer briefs at first. All right, so now we're going to use the sewing tool, segment sewing. The hotkey is N, and I'll sew these edges up here. Don't forget that you can sew in 3D space if you're more comfortable with that. So I sewed up this side. Now we need to sew up the inside of the leg. And then of course we need to sew the front closed and the back. Okay, let's press play. And it looks like I need to bring it closer to his body so it doesn't fall.
A little low, those pants.
All right, cool. So it looks like the waistline is a little bit low. So I'm going to grab my top edges of my pattern and just bring it up to give him a much more realistic waistline. It's also a little bit tight, so we can give him some more room by grabbing this edge here, the outside right edges, and just kind of bring them like this to scale the pattern wider. There we go. Now it fits a little bit better. So now we're ready to try to make the pants longer, unless you want shorts, and then you're done. So let's even out the opening here. I'm just going to bring these down to make it a little bit more straight. And now I can grab this edge And I don't recommend you bring it all the way down to the ankle in one go because it can do weird things like this. So go little by little. Let's bring it down and press simulate. And then I'll bring it down a little bit more and then simulate again. If it starts poking through the leg like this, you can actually grab it and just sort of pull it out like that. Let's bring it down more. Okay, so now he's got kind of Jinkos on, you know, you guys remember the 90s. But let's make these a little bit more fitted. Maybe I'll give him some fitted skinny jeans like that. So last thing before we call it quits on this first intro video, you probably want to learn how to export this to your other software so that you can put it into your animations or texture it or something like that. So here's how you export it to your 3D programs. What you want to do is highlight all of your patterns and then go File, Export, and you can do an OBJ or an FBX. I'm going to do OBJ selected and I'll name this Demo Outfit. And now we have our export options. It's going to combine them into a single object. You can do multiple objects if you want to. And it's going to be thick, which means it's going to extrude the surface to actually have a little bit of thickness. It's very important to pay attention to this because sometimes you want that and sometimes you don't. Maybe for a video game or something where you only want single-sided surfaces or fewer polygons, you might want to do thin. There's also the option here for weld and unweld. So if you choose unweld, these patterns are going to be separate objects, not just the different garments, but each panel is going to be a separate object. If I choose weld, it will actually stitch up those vertices in the middle. I'll press OK. So here it is in Maya. Another cool thing about this is it's already UV mapped. If you think about it, those 2D patterns that we drew, those make a great UV map. So it's already done. Just make sure it's laid out in the square and you've got a fully UV mapped outfit. That should be enough to get you guys started if you want to start making your own garments for these characters. I'm going to come back in another video and I'm going to show you how to make something more advanced, like a puffy jacket or something just a little more complex than jeans and a t-shirt. And then I'll also show you guys how you can use Marvelous Designer to simulate clothing for your animations. In the meantime though, if you create anything cool with this program for these characters, be sure to share it with us on Discord or tag us on Instagram with it. All right.
Nice. That's really, really cool. All right. But I'm not sure how I am actually getting the look here that I'm going for, because like it's different, should be like a different kind of material, right? Like, can I change the type of material these are? Let's see. Strengthen. Okay, what's that do? Wait, I think this is actually it. Oh yeah, that's actually it. Oh, interesting. So this is basically like a more stronger, like rubbery material. So what if I just select everything? Everything is rubber now. Interesting. Okay. Solidify. Oh wait, I actually have simulation settings on the right here. Fabric. Pressure. Whoa. Oh, is that like an internal pressure? So it's like it blows up? Oh yeah, yeah. There's like a internal pressure. Interesting. this is how I could get the look of the spacesuit. It's being like wrinkly and stuff if I add a lot of pressure from the inside. Can actually have this layout more like horizontal and not vertical. Oops. It's playing board. Zoom view. I'll just move these around. Doesn't seem so. Oh wait, is this the actual timeline? Oops. Actually, before I keep going here, because the time for Neutral Tuesday is actually over, let me just check if there's any student submissions. Oh yeah, remember, Zach submitted something. Submissions here. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, and Zach needs some help on his submissions. Okay, I guess let's just save this and continue working on that maybe after the submission or later. Yeah, let's see. Alright guys, okay, I'm gonna end the stream now, and I'll be back in around 10 minutes for the Create Together stream, where we will look at student submissions, where we'll help Zach with his render setup to get his work from Blender to Resolve.